All right, everyone, welcome to the Talk Lab podcast. I hope that everyone is doing well, everyone's staying safe during these times, especially the second wave is kind of creeping on us nowadays. It's becoming very scary. Today's guest is a very special guest. He's an internal VP in CUSA. He's studying neuroscience in Carleton, and he's a manager. A campus manager for Amazon Prime, right?
Yes, that's me. Thank you.
That was difficult to get.
You did well.
Thank you. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on your
Thank
podcast.
You, Farouk.
Excited. It's my first ever podcast, so thank you.
Thank you, Farouk. You're doing. I've been following your work. You're doing very great.
Thank you.
Especially on social media, you're very active, and it's great to see such a person doing this stuff. Like especially from Carleton University, where especially like we're in Ottawa, not much stuff happens.
Yeah.
So like, it's very great to see people trying to create something nowadays.
Alhamdulillah, like you said, we live in Ottawa. There's not a lot going on, so
Exactly.
You just got to make the most of your opportunities, and alhamdulillah, I've seen a lot of opportunities open up for me, so I just had to take them.
Thank God. So just want to hit it from the top a bit. So how's now studying? How's online?
I'm not a favor of it. I've become a person to be that's in-person person. I like to see people. I like to talk to people face to face. So online has definitely been a challenge. I think the biggest thing is for students, we always tend to forget stuff.
Yep.
Now that everything is online, you even forget it even more. But alhamdulillah, we're keeping on top of it and we're trying our best.
Yeah, definitely. Has it really destroyed your schedule yet or not yet?
No. So thankfully, I think growing up, my biggest struggle was maintaining a schedule and just staying on time with stuff.
Yep.
But I think through CUSA and like Campus Prime, I built this schedule. I've been able to stick to it. So I have a calendar between my phone, my iPad, my laptop, and my work computer. So my schedule is always in front of me, and I always try my best to stay to it. There's times where like I'll forget or I'll slip up, but we stay on top of it, alhamdulillah.
Definitely, we'll talk more a little bit about time management. It's one of the topics that we really touch upon a lot on this podcast. I try to get people to talk about it a little bit more to get like different points of views. Myself being very terrible at this thing, and I've said it before, I'm saying it now as well. I try my best to manage my time, but hey, like you can manage it to a point unless you're really like good at it and you have a plan. You cannot manage it.
Yeah, I feel you. You slip up sometimes, it's human nature, but as long as you get back on track.
Well, the thing that scares me is like when this slip off becomes a habit.
See, that's dangerous. I find that to be very dangerous because you build this tendency, and I think it's when you consistently start doing something, for example, missing your schedules, missing those meetings, or just being late, it creates that pattern for you, and just human nature, that's just the way you tend to go. Definitely. So you just need to be able to drag yourself and go back to that way. Definitely.
So you're an intern, VP intern in CUSA. Yeah. This is your second year.
Alhamdulillah, it's my second year.
Yeah. It's been going great for you. You're really active on campus. Seriously. Especially when it comes like to interact with people. I see you going around a lot. Like seriously. Like tell me a little bit about your first year and your first experience with CUSA.
I'll start with myself actually in high school.
Go ahead.
I was never someone who wanted to get involved. I'm not someone who liked getting involved. I lived a simple life, school, sports, home. That's it. I saw people running for like the student union, like the body government. That just wasn't my thing. Good for them. I'd never really liked it. And then I came to Carleton and I joined one club. Not even as exec. I just volunteered at an event. And I enjoyed it. I loved them. Like I think this is for me. Long story short, over 3 years, I joined over 12 clubs.
Ooh.
I was an exec with 7 of them.
Wow.
And then I got this opportunity, alhamdulillah, and I ran for CUSA.
Thank God.
I don't know how I felt about it. Obviously, it's something I think over the years I grew a passion for giving back to the community and just being involved and, like you said, everywhere and just talking to everybody. but jumping to CUSA was definitely a big step.
Yep.
But alhamdulillah, I took that opportunity, and I guess the odds were in my favor.
Definitely.
And there's always times where I just look back and I'd be like, wow, like what a change, like since like the person I was in high school to now. Like in high school, if we're in a group of 3 people, like me, you, and another individual, if I didn't know him or that individual, I probably wouldn't speak, probably wouldn't talk.
Wow.
I just wouldn't, like, I wasn't that social, I wasn't that comfortable. And now, like, you know, thankfully for CUSA, I've had these opportunities where like I'll give a speech in front of 300 people.
Yep.
No problem.
Big jump.
Big jump. So it's
Yeah.
like just seeing that change, is seeing like the personal growth that I've gained just by getting involved, really keeps me want to keep going. But I think the most important thing for me, or like what gave me satisfaction, was knowing I could help people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I wanna, because I have myself, I'm talking about myself, I have kind of like this blank space when it comes to your position. I really don't know much about your position, so I
Okay.
wanted to ask you first, what do you do in your position? What's most of the responsibilities that you take on and stuff like that? So I'll just get you started on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would say the vice president internal is probably one of the heavy positions.
Right.
If you're not on top of things, you fall behind within a span of hours. It's really go, go, go. Some of the responsibilities are obviously the clubs and societies.
Mhm.
You're in charge of overseeing all of them, their funding, making sure they're following the guidelines, making sure they're up to date. We also host like events for them. We host like clubs conference. It's a big conference at the beginning of the year. We kind of update all the execs on like, hey, congrats on winning your position. This is what it means to be an exec. We update them on any changes within CUSA. We do funding interviews. Those ones are usually the toughest ones.
Oh.
They take about your full day for about a week. Thankfully, we have like 300 clubs on campus, so there's the good side and the bad side of that. I'm also in charge of our council.
Mhm.
So our council is built out of representatives who represent their faculties. So we're built out of 26 counselors.
Mhm.
And then we have other student organizations also in our meetings. We have the Carleton Academic Student Government. We have a representative from the Board of Governors. We have the Rideau River Residents Association, which is like the student union for res students. And we have the Graduate Student Association. So I'm in charge of like making sure we have meetings every month, making sure that minutes are being taken, they're being presented, and there's transparency between us and the student body. I'm also in charge of our front desk.
Right. Yep.
So making sure our staff are hired, they know what they're doing, just maintaining and the front desk of CUSA, and also our committees. So we have funds that we do, like the Student Initiative Fund.
Mhm.
It's a fund for students who do extracurricular activities. They can always apply for this fund just to financially help them. So we have those deadlines 4 times a year. So I'm in charge of that committee. And I'm also in charge of making sure all committees get filled.
Definitely.
So every time there's a new committee being opened up, I got to make sure I present it to our council, get that filled. And then I'm in charge of any internal work. Anything internally with CUSA, I have to make sure it gets done. And then obviously, those are just my responsibilities. There's also the everyday responsibilities
Of course.
emails from students, extra stuff, helping out the university, making our own events. So
interacting with people a lot.
interacting with students.
Definitely.
I'd say I was in the office last week, and it really hit me, the change. I think last year walking into CUSA, there would be like 5-6 students looking for me. My office would be filled with people, and I walk in, it's like it's a ghost town. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and especially being 2 years. So I guess there's a little insight of what it takes to be the vice president internal.
Definitely. It's a big change from last year, isn't it? Like, really, right now, everything's like is being done online mostly.
Yeah.
When it comes to like studying or even like meetings right now are hosted online.
Yeah. It's a big change. Everything now is Zoom or Microsoft Teams
Definitely.
and stuff. So definitely not easy, but I think what hits the most is you're unable to host the same events and providing the same help to students like you did last year. But, you know, I think part of our responsibility is coming up with other ways and other methods that we can still provide students that experience, but just virtually. But like I said, that face-to-face interactions,
Yeah.
those are probably the biggest things. And this year really hit.
It really did. I spoke to other clubs, like some people from other clubs, execs, and some leaders in the clubs. Yeah, they told me it's been a challenge for them, though it hasn't really affected them that much. Surprisingly, really they've been doing well. I don't know which side is it like right now, but it's like they've been doing well to the point that they overcame the hit of COVID-19. All of their events are stopped, but now they're trying to host events that are, let's say, COVID friendly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, everyone's just social distanced. Everyone's wearing masks and everything. I've heard a lot of ideas. Speaking with other clubs, I've heard a lot of ideas, great ideas from other clubs, trying to host events where
Hmm.
it's really safe for everyone else. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's surprising.
it is like I see a lot of them on my Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, I'm happy when I see I'm happy that clubs are still taking the time to host events and ensure that they're still providing stuff for their students. And I'm quite happy and quite grateful for all the execs. They take time out of their day, especially with studies being online, everything for them to still want to host events and still taking the time out of their day to do it. So, like you said, they've avoided, and I'm happy they're doing well. And I guess if any of them watch, I'm still here to help. So,
Yep.
although we're online, just message me, email me.
Definitely.
Try to do it as best as we can.
Definitely. Um, where do you see CUSA now going on? Like, how CUSA is going to deal with this year
Like, how is the
when it
year going
comes to like clubs, basically?
with clubs?
Yeah,
We're still providing the same services that we are.
mostly.
Um, Obviously, not all of them. Stuff like room booking and stuff. Unfortunately, we cannot provide that since the school wants no one on campus. But our funding, our services, any resources, if they want to print stuff, still available. Our insurance is still available for our clubs. Every time they host events, they are insured. So our services are still there. But I think the most important thing is as the year goes along and as clubs try to host more and more events, you start to realize areas that we could also help them.
Mhm.
So I think our biggest thing for CUSA is just maintaining a proper communication with all the clubs so that anytime throughout the year they realized, hey, first time doing this event, we realize we're missing this. Could you help us? And we're there to
Definitely.
provide the help and just to ensure that they succeed.
Definitely. I believe it's been a traffic of stuff lately for you and for CUSA as well. Like
Yeah,
in the past couple of weeks.
yeah, it's been busy. Like we said, this is unprecedented times. We've never been through a situation like this. So, as our students are going and learning on the way, we are too. So, we're just trying our best. But I think the main thing is just communication, because we do certain things and we learn from those things. But other students, other clubs are also doing things. So, but we know the challenges we face and the challenges that students are facing when they're not doing it by themselves. A lot of other people are facing them. So we're just trying to understand what issues students are facing, what issues we're facing, being able to fix it, and being able to provide a service just to help them and to help other students who are going through it.
Definitely. What's your position? So we spoke about your position in CUSA, and it's great that you really find the time for another position, which is a campus manager for Prime, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about this position.
So a friend referred me for this position.
Mhm.
So basically it's Amazon Prime student.
Right.
They have a lot of amazing benefits. And my friend was like, hey, you're really involved on campus. Your reach is amazing. The benefits I've received from Prime student have helped me a lot. And I think with the audience that you have and the platform that you have, I think both of you would benefit from this.
Of course. Yeah.
To me, I saw it as another opportunity to give a service to the students.
Mhm.
So any opportunity I get to be able to give back to the community or just know that there's a good service and I could offer it to students so they can benefit from it,
Mostly.
I'll always jump on that. So once I saw Amazon Prime student, I had to apply, and thankfully we're done phase 1 already.
Mhm.
A lot of students have been emailing me, messaging me, DMing me, so it's nice to see that. I did a giveaway for 2 Amazon gift cards.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
I know this we have whole lot more in this phase. I'm giving away a home echo, which is basically the whole
Yep.
hey Alexa.
Well, Google will get pissed at you now because we got Google here on the podcast.
I apologize, Google. I mean, hey Google, you can reach out to me too. I can give away a Google Home. I don't mind.
Definitely.
But yeah, thankfully for the opportunity. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Yeah. So What was your latest event that you held before COVID
For
for anything for CUSA or for I don't believe it was for Prime at the time, but
no,
for
I just
CUSA
started
because
Prime.
Prime was lately
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
I just started Prime in the beginning of September. The last event for CUSA, um, personally for the vice president internal,
Yeah.
there was no real events that we held.
Hmm.
Um,
So
we
you've been part
had
of events a lot. You've been part of events a lot though.
I've been part of a lot of events. There's a
That's
lot of events that we partake. So we have a lot of stuff like our vice president student issues. They're always hosting monthly campaigns,
Mhm.
like Pop the Stigma, that just focus on advocacy. Um, so we had a lot of those, but just before the COVID quarantine, we had elections, so we were busy with that. Um, but I say the last one. I say the biggest one and my most favorite one was
Mhm.
definitely clubs conference.
Oh,
It was the first time I realized I'm comfortable speaking in front of that many students. We did have representatives from the university come out, and they said they've been to clubs conference for the past 10 years, and this is the biggest one and the most fun one.
interesting.
So knowing that I myself and the club's commissioners were able to put on such a large event and such a fun one as well was definitely like a good feeling inside.
Definitely. I want to go back a little bit to something that you mentioned earlier, which is like you weren't comfortable talking to a lot of people or in front of an audience, basically. And you told me that CUSA has helped out with, being part of CUSA, being part of as well, part of some clubs.
Yeah.
It helped you out with overcoming this fear, if we call it, or this challenge, actually.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit, what's the main thing that really pushed you to like towards that?
Towards that. I would say it all started actually before even CUSA.
Mhm.
I think it was just joining clubs. Um, and I thank all the club execs who were execs back then. They created this environment of welcome, like everyone's welcome.
Mhm.
You're comfortable. We're all friends around here. So knowing that I entered into an environment where everyone's friends, you're accepted, you just have that sense of being comfortable. I think just over time, just being able to meet new people and being able to socialize. And I think, I don't know what, it just happened so quick
Mhm.
that you gain this confidence within you. And obviously, as every time I took a new opportunity, the confidence went up. Personal growth was also increased. So
Definitely.
when you put all that together over a span of 3 years, I've spent over 12 clubs. And I remember the first time I was elected as an exec, I was ecstatic. I was super happy about it. There was definitely ups and downs though in the 3 years. But I think the biggest thing is always learning from your highs and from your lows.
Definitely.
So I think it was definitely all just a contribution, piece by piece. And then obviously when CUSA came, having that opportunity to speak in front of 300 students, I was butterflies were inside me. Like I was sweating buckets doing it. I remember my first one. I walked in. I don't remember seeing any faces. All I remember was
Oh
just
wow.
lights. That's how nervous I was. And then I finished it, and it was quiet for like 2 seconds. And then everyone started standing up and clapping. And there's like this relief. You feel like there's
Yep.
a big mountain off your shoulders. And you're like,
Exactly.
that wasn't too bad. And then later on, I would see them in the hallway, and they would come and be like, "Oh, like amazing speech, like you killed, like good job, like best luck with the elections." And then it's this confidence within you that just grows.
Speaking with people who've been on stage, actually, they told me that's a good trick that you actually presented. Don't really look at people. Like
Mhm.
imagine a line or something, or just like look at lights, but you gotta a bit shift yourself like towards people, but then don't really look at people. You're gonna get nervous, definitely.
Yeah. I agree to that with this to a certain
Yeah.
extent though. I think if it's your first couple of times, if you feel nervous, if you're mentally not there, I would say, um, yeah, focus on the light, stuff like that.
Definitely. Yeah.
But nowadays, I could speak in front of as many people
Yeah.
as I want to. Like it doesn't phase me anymore. As I'm not as
Yeah.
nervous as I used to be. Now, like I look at people in the eyes when I talk to them.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I remember this past election, I was giving my speeches. Different feeling than my first round.
Mhm.
First round, like I said, I was looking off at the lights, trying to make no eye contact whatsoever. Now I'm just staring at people, talking to them, and just trying to scan the room. And I think it always helps when you're looking at people because it shows that, hey, I'm talking to you.
Definitely.
And they feel it and they pay more attention to. Obviously, you're not gonna grab the attention of 300 people
No, but shifting from one side to another,
to another. Definitely.
in a smooth way, basically, it's like you're talking to them. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Actually,
So yeah, I mean, the transition was amazing, and if you're comfortable speaking in front of that many people, I would definitely say look them in the eyes.
definitely.
Yeah.
I feel that if you're comfortable speaking with people, you don't have any problem speaking in front of cameras, do you?
No, you start to enjoy cameras because now you know
Yeah.
there's no eyes looking back at you.
Definitely.
They definitely are online when they watch it, but you're
Yeah.
comfortable with it.
It's easy.
Yeah.
There you go. I remember my first meeting with Ali Desofo. Amazing meeting.
Love that guy.
The only problem was I was the person who always stayed behind the camera instead of like me staying in front of the camera. And then when I got in front of the camera, I went quiet. That's it. My mind just blocked. I don't know what to say. So like a good thing that I had is it was like a note that I went through, like bullet points that I hit. And the good thing with Ali, he's a great to talk to. So the way that we were talking, he was hitting every point that I want him to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So he was hitting it in a good sequence. So it made it easier for me. Otherwise, I think that episode wouldn't have had dropped.
No,
if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, I want to take this time actually just to shout out Ali, the soulful poet.
You're amazing.
Inspirational. What he's doing simply is amazing. I've seen his growth in the past couple of years. So big shout out to him and everything he's doing. Keep going. Amazing things are coming for you, buddy. I watched your podcast with him.
Yep.
Amazing speaker. He knows how to talk.
He's amazing.
I feel like, I don't know, if me and him are in the same room, none of us are shutting up.
He's he's more interesting actually. What a good thing about this podcast is we're just talking as a conversation. In real life, like that's literally Ali. Like that you guys just saw Ali's picture in real life. Because we met even before he dropped his first song.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. He was so good. He didn't change at all. Like Ali stayed Ali.
Yeah, when I watch your videos, it's something about Ali. He just seems so genuine. Like, you know, when you're watching that video, like that's Ali. Like if I was to meet that person, that's probably who he is. Funny thing about Ali is like about Ali, I know him now, but when he first started popping off, and to this day, he still looks very familiar. I just don't know where I met him.
Yeah,
I don't know where I met this. So every time I see him, I was like, I've always wondered, like, where did I meet this person? Like, how did we just click like that? But
amazing thing that links you guys both. He was actually active with other stuff. So like he was active with something called YouthNet, and YouthNet is a program funded by CHIO Hospital. I've met them because we had something before. We had a project. It was me and another Ali. Ali was with us as well, and he introduced us to YouthNet. So it's interesting that you guys as well. Like he's very active. Like even before him popping out in social media as well. So yeah,
that's nice. Nice that we have a nice connection. I think if me and Ali are that alike, I might write some poetries. You know?
I really want an episode with you and Ali here.
I think we'd be battling about who gets to talk. No, I would love to come back to have Ali here.
That episode would go 2 hours, 3 hours episode.
I think it definitely would. It would definitely take you a long time to edit it. But I would love to have the opportunity. Ali, like,
yo,
let's make it happen. I know you're busy, but you can make some time for us. We're your friends.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Something that I haven't said before on the podcast, like when we called Ali, I called him actually a week before recording the episode. Yeah. I was like, "Yo, are you in for the podcast?" A guy didn't even ask what's the audience base, like where's the other episode. He's like, "Yo, got you." Yeah. By the way, he lives in Finland. Like I don't know how he had the drive here, but yo, like that's amazing of him.
Yeah, I think we brought him once to I think it was ASL or there was an event at Carleton, and
I remember that event.
Very humble, very genuine, just an amazing individual. And it's always nice to see leaders like that who just don't care about like the size of the audience. They know what their art is and they know what their craft is, and they're very grateful for that when they get an opportunity like that. So again, it just goes to the character of Ali of being so genuine, so humble. I love that guy.
It makes me excited a bit about Ottawa a little bit more.
Yeah.
Since those people are putting us like on the map, if we like to call it that. Like nowadays I'm finding out like a lot of creators are popping up, a lot of names now from Ottawa. Definitely a lot of people on TikTok as well.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them.
Wow.
Um, yeah, you see them on like I see them all over Instagram and stuff. A couple of them are friends with my brother,
Mhm.
and now apparently they're living in LA and stuff. I'm just like, wow, who knew Ottawa had it in them? And I think we just had like the first person go to the NFL.
Yep.
I
I
think with
think
the same pass, Neville or something like that. So amazing. I think Ottawa's growing, and I'm
yep.
proud to be witnessing it.
I think yeah, one of the greatest people as well, like are Anas and Asala as well,
Mm.
who were actually students of Carleton.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, it's great. It's nice to see that Ottawa has those people that are up and coming. It's amazing. It's inspirational.
definitely. Want to shift it a little bit about time management now.
Mm.
All right. So how actually my question to you is how do you find time to do a lot of stuff?
The answer is time management. Funny enough, the answer is time management.
Yep.
It's I think the biggest lesson I learned was learning the value and the worth of a minute. If you understand the value of each minute, you start to take it very seriously. So when I'm scheduling my day, I always do everything on a calendar. Even if it's a simple 5-minute meeting, a simple task that I have to do, I put on a calendar. That way, I'm not saying I stick to it 100%,
No,
but it
but
guides
helps.
me. It guides me. So I know for this time to this time, it's work. I don't forget school, forget it's work time.
Yep.
And then obviously you have to give yourself a break too.
Definitely.
Because if you're not giving yourself breaks, you're not getting that mental break. You could still be studying for 5 hours. You're just not going to be retaining all that information.
Yep.
So I know when it's time to study for work, no matter what it is, gone on the side. My phone's on the side. It's time for work. So definitely having a calendar, definitely understanding the worth of time,
Mhm.
and just being serious with yourself first and foremost. You need to just respect the time and know that, hey, I'm dedicating this time for this. I got to be serious about it. But obviously we're human. We slip up. I slip up.
A lot. Yeah.
But it happens.
Sometimes.
But just don't let it become a consistent thing.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, it's very dangerous for it to become a habit of slipping
Oh
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that happened to me first year. I
Yep.
think my time management was little to none, and I had I tried to do calendars. I had the big calendars in my bedroom, and I
Oh,
put the deadlines and the due dates and everything. And sooner or later, I found myself past the deadline and not even
I
knowing.
tried that. I tried that a lot, and nope, it doesn't work for me. What
No.
works for me is if it's on my phone,
Yeah,
that's it. It's easy.
no.
Because like you could be talking to someone and then they're telling you, oh, how about we meet up at this time, and then do this. You could just like enter it while talking to them. It's very quickly. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to give it so much time of your so much of your time to like put it on your phone. And it reminds you as well.
Yeah, I think we do that a lot in CUSA too. Like whether it's just meetings with students or just other individuals, we just add the event to the calendar, and then when you do that, you invite them to that event,
Right.
and it sends you notifications, and it's amazing. There's so many times where I've totally forgot, and then just having those reminders from the calendar saved me a lot.
Technology people.
Technology, yeah, it's amazing, but it has its moments too.
Yep, definitely. Good thing you talked about a little bit about inviting people to events and this whole system of having a team as well.
Yeah,
I believe having like a good team as well really helps out with time management,
yeah,
because you could be the person who records something, or the person who hosts something, and then that's it. Given an example as our podcast is an example, it's like you could be the person only who's gonna host the podcast, and then you get out like after an hour, and then the editor would come in, finish your work
yeah.
and stuff. How does that work with CUSA? Because it's a bigger team. Like the podcast is like a smaller scale. Is very
Yeah,
very little, a small team of like 8 people. It's not that big.
yeah,
Like when it comes to CUSA, you're talking about let's say it's not an institution. It's like a team that's really responsible of 300 other clubs.
hmm
So
definitely. We consider ourselves a family. In all honesty,
yeah,
like you said, one of us may be the main face for a certain event, but it's a full team effort behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Being there either just for moral support, helping them set up, helping them take down, and all the backroom stuff. So, yes, we have our 6 execs. We also have our executive coordinator. Big shout out to Aaron. He helps us a lot. Amazing. But again, we still have our communications office.
Right.
They do all the graphics. They do all our anything to do with media and design and
Whoa.
uploading stuff on social media and all that. It's them, and a big
That's-
shout out to them. Our social media has definitely grew. When I need in a poster, they get it done. So
Wow.
we do have that, but we also have our front desk staff.
Mhm.
They're the main face when students come into the office, and amazing individuals, so kind, so friendly, so nice. But again, when it comes to clubs, we have our clubs commissioners.
Right.
Last year we had Hassan, Tanisha, Ranad. They did an amazing job. Big shout out to them. This year we have Sam,
Mhm.
who's newly hired,
Right.
has a lot of experience when it comes to clubs, student unions, organizations. So he's made my life 10 times easier.
Wow.
He's took on a lot of the work. So a lot of people be like, "Oh, I love what clubs are doing. Like amazing. Like big shout out to you." I'm like, "Thank you," but it was Sam. So having just that team, that support, but most importantly is the fact that we support each other. We're there for each other. It makes a big difference.
Definitely, and that's the team spirit,
That is the team
basically.
spirit.
Because hey, like you might not be able to do this at this time. I'm gonna jump in and help.
Yeah. Oh, our general manager, our full-time staff, our finance
Amazing.
office. We have a big team, and I'm really grateful for all of them.
My question, I have like a bit of question. I'm pretty sure some of our viewers, might have this question. What are the factors that you guys are looking in when it comes to hiring someone in CUSA? Because like some of our viewers might have this question or might have an interest in coming into CUSA. So just want to know about that.
Our factors when we're hiring people.
Yeah.
So obviously it depends on the job. Each job is different in the requirements. For example, say I'll use clubs just for my own sake. We look at if you have any experience with clubs. So Hassan last year was part of 2-3 different clubs. And each club he had different experiences, different roles. So obviously when you're coming into a position, there's the requirements. It's very competitive. It definitely is. We had other students with more experience, but with that, they didn't have the time commitment.
Definitely,
They're
that's a big factor.
It was a big factor. So education is definitely one. For example, 4th year engineering and is an exec with 2 other clubs. So being hired for this position, you'd have to do office hours, you'd have to come to events. But at the same time, we don't want this job to affect your education, because at the end of the
Definitely
day,
not.
you're still a student. And that's what gives you the opportunity to work for CUSA, is the fact that you're a student. So we don't want the job to affect your education. So definitely experience, definitely your education in the sense of time and how much time you have to offer.
Yeah, time management as well. I believe.
Time management is a big one.
That's a big one.
And then we do definitely take also the interview and the way it goes.
Right.
Obviously, you are representing the organization. You're putting a face on. So those are key factors that we look at.
Definitely. Want to talk a little bit about the professionalism side and presenting yourself in front of other companies. From right now, like, because like I've been to your LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it, very good.
Thank
And you know how much I love LinkedIn, and you know how much I talk about LinkedIn on this podcast.
Yeah.
So what are the tricks that you use in your LinkedIn, or just like to present yourself in a different way that makes you stand out? Because like definitely your account, I'm telling you, it does stand out.
Yeah.
I know some tricks that you're using, but I want you yourself to present them because, hey, you're the person who uses them.
I'll be honest with you. I get so many emails from LinkedIn. I have about 400 viewers a week that search my account. But it's funny because I'm not active on LinkedIn.
Oh,
I haven't posted. I don't really I don't really comment. I don't really go on. I go on once in a while. I accept people. I endorse people for certain things, but I'm actually not active. But that is one of my things for this week, is to definitely get active. And one of my posts will be definitely this opportunity. But when it comes to techniques or little things that could just make your profile just be a little bit extra better, your first one is your profile photo.
That's a big factor.
Your profile photo.
Don't take a selfie and post it.
No, don't take a selfie. But you don't want a clear professional headshot in a sense. There's a lot of people who do a pose and they get it professionally done in a studio. It's not genuine. It's not
No,
genuine.
depending on the job that you're aiming for, most likely you're not gonna need it.
You're not gonna need it. And I think the biggest thing is like you have to understand that LinkedIn is your online resume.
Definitely.
This is just who you are, but just an online version.
Exactly.
So if you're putting team management and hardworking and that kind of stuff in your LinkedIn, well, guess what? There's 100,000 other people that are saying that.
Yep.
So if you search my LinkedIn, you see a little story about myself. So here's the biggest thing. You want whoever visits your LinkedIn to be able to leave your LinkedIn knowing who you are.
Definitely.
Having a feeling that, oh, I know this person now. They haven't met you, they haven't messaged you, but if you read my story or my introduction, you would feel like, oh, I actually know this person now. You know a bit about who I am. That's the biggest thing. But if you're just filling out a template like hardworking, this and that, you're not standing out. The biggest thing is how to stand out.
Yeah.
But going back to your profile photo, you don't want a photo that's too close. Takes your face is taking up the whole image.
No.
And you don't want that's too far.
That shows your whole body, because like,
yeah,
hey, we don't want that.
So it's tough finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then your introduction.
Definitely.
But if you also populate it, put images, put videos. You don't want the viewer just whoever visits your account pop and seeing your image, your intro, and then just leaving. So with my story is I put a lot of emojis, a lot of color, pictures and stuff. So what happens is you start off with my LinkedIn, my profile photo. There's 3 photos of me, and then my story introduction.
Exactly.
But what that does to you is it makes you keep scrolling. So you're reading all the way down.
Of course. Yeah.
So the more you go down and then you finish that, then you see my experiences. I try to attach as much pictures as I can. Now humans love seeing pictures. They love seeing pictures, love videos. Definitely. So it's about fooling the viewer to keep scrolling. How long can I get
exists? I mean, that's why media exists. I mean,
that's I can talk about that for for hours, and media and their purpose. I actually watched the movie called The Social Dilemma.
Yep.
Have you watched it?
Yes.
And wow, it made me want to delete my social media. But knowing that's so basically just having, it's funny because like what I was trying to do on LinkedIn was a method that they're using. So when I watched that movie, I was like, that's what I'm trying to do. Yep. Which is nice, but it's also scary at the same time.
Definitely.
So these people are tracking everything about me.
But hey, they know everything about it already, so we're stuck.
We're stuck. You're stuck in the situation, and it's like no matter what you do now, like Definitely. It's too little, too late. I've been clicking, I've been liking. But I would say that's probably the certain things that you just want to keep on LinkedIn is dragging your viewer down.
Definitely. I see. Here's the thing. Oh God. I don't know. I'll be hated to say that, but I see the other side as well. Of that, like, yes, they track you down, but hey, they can do it anyway. You have a phone, right? So they can track you down anytime without even being involved in social media. They just know more about you, or not about you personally. They have studies basically, and then according to studies, they see what people mostly like and what people mostly don't like. If you see what I mean. So like it's more statistics more than personal stuff, but sometimes they use personal stuff. Like it is really scary. Like I was sitting with Mo the other day and we were talking about cars, and if you're saying the iPhone really is protected, by the way, I own a Samsung now. I just switched to Samsung. Make fun of me as much as you want, but hey, he has an iPhone, and then he started like, first of all, first dealership got him a message. An actual, I'm not talking about like him scrolling between apps and like getting like ads. No. Yeah. He got a message to his phone from a dealer saying to him that like blah 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 something. I forgot what it was, but like it was an ad. And then we spoke about it again and again about cars, and then he received second and third message. I'm like, dude, like you better throw this phone.
Yeah, it happens, and I think it was mentioned. I think a bit in the social dilemma, but you did say that you made a comment about like whether or not we like it or don't like it, they do it and stuff like that. But you also said that in other cases it's more of a statistics thing.
Definitely.
I think the issue with this is the fact and the way the social dilemma, that movie, like the image they painted was, they have whoever these higher ups have a virtual copy of us.
definitely. Yeah.
So when it's a general thing, it's not too bad. But when they paint it as like it's a personal thing,
Yeah.
that's when people are like,
That's
okay, like
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this. But yeah, back to that. Like I've seen many instances where like I'm with a bunch of friends or family, and we're talking about a certain topic, and you open YouTube or Facebook stuff, and you see the ads is about the things you were
Yeah, I
talking
got
about.
used to those.
Yeah, like at first that was scary, but I've always wondered how it transfers from app to app, and
Yeah.
thankfully the movie Social Dilemma explained that to me. I don't know, it's not we're not trying to plug Social Dilemma, we're not being paid by
No.
them, but it's a good movie to watch. But it's nerve wracking a bit. But
Definitely.
like you said, what do you do?
I see it as well in Black Mirrors as well, but that's a different aspect. It's more like technology more than social media in Black Mirrors, and it's really scary to be
I've
honest
never
with
seen
you.
that movie.
Hmm?
I've
It's-
never seen that.
No, seriously? Wow.
No. The Black
Oh,
Mirror?
Black Mirrors.
Black Mirrors. Okay.
It's,
Is it on
it's
Netflix?
on Netflix. It's a show. It's not
Okay, if whoever's listening on my phone, remind me to watch it later.
definitely.
No, I'll have to watch that. I want to see what that's about.
It is really scary
Yeah.
to think even about like, hey, like first season when I was watching it, I was thinking about it normally, just like, okay, it's just another show, and then started watching the second and third season, and I'm like, wow, that's very true. Like,
Mhm.
what if in like 2030 and 2040 we get like to the point that really robots control us, or just like we can be living in a virtual reality, but we don't know because sometimes scientists got us into that.
Oh, if you're gonna open conspiracies, I might have to return, or we're gonna be here for a couple hours. I have all these conspiracies in my head, and obviously this whole Corona thing just added to my list of conspiracies.
Yeah,
but,
that was a big one.
it is, but I mean, like as children growing up, we always said that in 2020 there'd be like flying cars and stuff like that. They probably definitely have some, but I wouldn't say it's a norm. But hey, conspiracies, they're my thing. So
I was talking to someone. His name was sorry, Nabil Rustam. His
Okay.
episode is dropping soon. Actually, at this time that you guys are watching the episode, it
Would've
has
been
already
dropped.
dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he like I think it was after the episode where we were talking about it generally, and he was like, yeah, like they told us about like how the government actually was prepared for something like that, like for coronavirus, like this whole thing that we see Justin Trudeau going live, talking to people every day, the government, like Ford going every day talking to people. This is like a pre-written script. So, but it wasn't mentioned for coronavirus. It was for a pandemic. But hey, like the government actually, they're not as like, or as stupid as this sounds, but like they're actually prepared even for a zombie attack.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I've never heard that one. I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard that one.
like there's actual protocol, and like there's stuff that they go over for a zombie attack.
Jeez. I mean, I would love to find it out. I think I might have to run for prime minister or something. But see, I'm not saying I believe all conspiracies,
No,
but definitely like hearing these, it gets you thinking in a different way.
yeah,
And I know there's a lot of people on the internet who make these conspiracy videos, and people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
they're just crazy," stuff like that. But I always question, like, coincidence. Like, what's the
Yeah.
coincidence? Like it happens every time. There's always a reason behind it. And we can get into a more serious topic about Illuminati, non-Illuminati, but that's gonna take more time, and I have my own thoughts about that. So
definitely, yeah. Just putting the question mark on it, like sometimes it helps.
Yeah.
Like
keeping
what
an
if?
open mind on stuff. I wouldn't say don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. But having an open mind when you hear new things can really open your mind to other things. So open your mind.
Yeah,
Open your
definitely.
mind.
And watch Black Mirrors as well.
Watch Black Mirrors. We're not getting paid by them either, but
But hey,
check them out.
I mean, Netflix, if you're thinking about, promoting
Netflix,
this,
do you want to
Yeah, sure.
help
It's
our
a
boy out?
startup. It's a startup podcast. I know it doesn't. It's not like a big thing, but yeah,
It will be a big thing. Netflix is going to miss out.
Hopefully.
Don't miss out Netflix, inshallah.
hopefully, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Where do you think you're gonna be? Like now, I'm like switching it a little bit more because we spoke about some professionalism. We spoke about LinkedIn resumes. I want to switch it towards like from a conversational field of view to
Yeah.
like more of an interview between you and me. Where do you think you're gonna be in 10 years? That's one of the questions probably that you got asked when you got hired in CUSA. So
There's a variety of questions.
I'd love to know actually, because I can see a bright future. So
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
no problem.
Inshallah, there's a bright future. See, um, I love this kind of question,
Yeah.
but I always feel there's no real answer to this.
No.
Only because you don't know what tomorrow brings, and it could change your future in the next 10 years. But ideally, where I want to see myself in 10 years, I definitely want to be married with a family.
Definitely.
I definitely want to have kids. I definitely want to be. I still want to be giving back to people.
Mhm.
I still want to be having those opportunities. Hopefully, I have a job. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not looking for a 9 to 5 job.
Yep.
I'm looking for a job, but just not 9 to 5. And I want to be financially stable enough to take care of my parents, take care of my family. But with all this planning, you never know what tomorrow brings.
No.
So we take every day as we get, and alhamdulillah for another day.
Definitely.
But those are just a few things that I do definitely want to see. But my main thing is definitely family and having an opportunity to give back to people.
Definitely. Going back to getting involved as well with clubs in Carleton. One of the episodes that we were recording previously, I had someone, Harman. He's very involved in different clubs. He always tries to help out with other clubs. Shout out to Harman. Very great guy. Yeah, so sometimes he's like, this soldier, this hidden soldier that's really behind the scenes, and he's really helping other clubs, but he's not really in the picture of
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of amazing individuals you meet at Carleton, especially when you get involved, like Abdul Wahab al-Haymi.
Yeah.
Amazing individual. Abdurrahman Ether.
Yeah.
Involved, very involved.
Very
and
great.
Harman is one of the one. And then you have Amar Adib, who continues to help with See
Great
Smile
guy.
and the way they've
Great
grown. I just want to take this quick little 30 seconds for Harman. I played him in FIFA. I beat him 3 times in a row. I love him. He's very genuine, very humble, amazing individual. FIFA's not your thing.
He's probably gonna watch this podcast. Then
he's probably gonna watch it, and I apologize. I'm telling the truth. I beat you 3 times. Anyone wants to play me, DM me. Yeah, Harman did beat me, but we don't have to include that. So there's a lot of amazing individuals, and I think this correlates back to having the back support.
Definitely.
And there's always those times where, whether this person's on your team or not, there's always these individuals who want to help out and just want you to succeed. And you love seeing it. There's hope for humanity when you see people like Harman, Abdul Wahab, and Abdurrahman Ether, and all these individuals. So we have them ourselves too.
Yeah.
We have students who come out, and we have a street team. So basically, it's a CUSA street team where individuals who just want to get involved and just want to volunteer with CUSA. And a big shout out to them. Especially obviously this year's a bit tougher. Last year we really felt their presence. Even during Frosh, they'd come out, they'd help out. They talk to the students, set a really good image, and just interact with the students. So support is very key in life. And a lot of people will say, oh, if you want something done, do it yourself. And you can only do it for such a certain extent, but you need that help, you need that support. And I'm very grateful for all the help that we've gotten in the past years.
Definitely. One of the things that I really tell others as well to get involved with other clubs, of course. It's a big thing. It helps you build your network. It helps you, use this experience in other stages. So what would you advise people who are trying now to get into Carleton first year? Just what is the first step when they're looking to get involved in clubs?
Definitely. I'm going to tie this to the convo we just ended and helps. So shout out to your brother for helping us. I know he's in first year at Carleton, so if I'm speaking to students like him or students entering first year, yes, you want to succeed, you want to go to class, you want to do well, but do find that time and that balance where you do get involved. And it can start with anything, like what's your interest? FIFA, we have a FIFA club. What's your interest? We have a CU hacking, which is a club that does tournaments and competitions where you hack a system. So you get joined in a team and you have to hack the system to win. So no matter what your interest is, no matter what your hobby is, I would definitely say to get involved. Not only because of your interest, but the possible growth.
Definitely.
You do meet lifetime friends. You create all these good times and these good memories. But the personal growth that comes with it, because you take on new responsibilities by getting involved. And it puts you in a position where you're probably not comfortable with. It's a new situation for you. So it puts you in a position to learn, to grow. So getting involved is probably the number one thing I always tell students, especially first year. Get involved.
Definitely. And learning responsibility as well. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
Yeah. And also time management. The more you get busy, the more you start to realize, okay, I need to complete this. Like, I have this amount of time, I need to get it done. And the benefits are endless, but you need to be able to control it.
Definitely.
You don't want to get too carried away with a certain thing. It's nice to have fun, but you have to find that balance.
Definitely, because once you get out of university, life is not going to be fun so much.
Yeah, so
you got to make it fun.
Yeah, but if you do want to set yourself up for success, I would definitely say get involved, grow, learn from it, and it goes on your resume too. So
definitely,
these positions, I've seen them firsthand, how they help people even outside of university. I have friends who were in neuroscience, but they were like vice president this or vice president that of all these clubs. And now they're working as an event programmer. They're making more money than they thought they would with the degree that they got. So I'm not saying don't chase your passion, your dreams with your degrees, but by getting involved, you open up endless opportunities for you.
Yeah, it's either gonna help you find your passion or just gonna help you, stay in your passion as well. Like, and find more opportunities because hey, like this person who you just met might land you a job sometime after. And I've heard a lot of stories. Like I ask sometimes my managers about the jobs that they got in their life, and it's crazy. Some of them are just like from their network. Most of them actually are from their network. If your network is strong, you're gonna get better jobs than someone who's with a weak network who didn't get involved. He doesn't know a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think it's the network. It's everything that's offered from getting involved.
Of course.
From your relationships with people, your experiences that you're gaining, the opportunities that you're gaining, and it all shapes you, and it all shapes you to in a positive manner. So I've seen people who throughout the university experience got involved and really understood what it takes to be a team, and now they're making a profession. Like, it's their profession about teaching people and companies and organizations team building. Definitely. They go into organizations, they take them away for a couple of days. They teach them team building and how to become a better team. And alhamdulillah, they're doing well with it. So the opportunities are just there.
Definitely.
You just need to be willing to take that step and just get involved.
Definitely. Before me ending this podcast now, I want to do something differently that I haven't done before with other guests. But because you're a special guest and we were talking about that next year, this is second year will be your last year with CUSA as a VP intern. Yeah. So I just want you to look into the camera, give the next person a message from this podcast, basically, so they can go back and watch it. Of course. A message for the next person who's gonna take the VP the VP position.
Focus on your school. Make sure your school isn't set. The VP internal is basically the backbone of the organization. There's a lot of responsibilities, but it's not impossible. So to the next person elected, whoever's running this year, I wish you the best of luck to everyone running first and foremost. You're going to love it. Students are going to love you. You're going to do amazing. You're going to have an amazing experience. And I get to transition you. I'll be there to help you. You can always message me. I've done this 2 years. I know like the back of my hand, I think. But just be willing to accept that you're going to make mistakes, that you're going to succeed, and just learn from it. And you're going to do amazing. You never know. Being the next vice president internal, you might be on Talk Lab. So
hopefully,
be excited for it.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Appreciate it.
That's a great episode. Thank you very much. And it was kind of a long ride for you from Maryville.
From Maryville. I mean, I didn't want to miss the opportunity. You had amazing people from Harman to Ali to even Yasmin Atasi, amazing student leader on our campus. So I look forward to coming back with Ali and maybe some other people. So
of course, I can see it happening very soon. So
inshallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And everyone, if you watched this episode till the end, thank you very much for staying till the end. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go subscribe. Check out our social media. I'll leave my guest's social media in the description. Message him if you have any question.
For sure.
He always replies back. He's very great with that. His email as well will be down there. Definitely. So if you haven't actually checked out our social media, our TikTok, our Instagram, go check them out. And thank you very much. Have a good day.